Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of LTB Live, where I'm your host, John Delray. Today, discussing Packers public practice number 15. I'd be lying if I said that this was a super long practice. I don't time the practices from beginning to end, but I can tell you that I really believe of the 15 now that have been open to the public, I do believe that this is quite possibly the shortest out of all of them. I mean, it got to be close at the very least. So not the most intense day. They were only in half pads. Not the longest day. Little surprising coming off of the effort in Denver. I see Janelle already talking about that the Packers have more pep today. Ultimately, in a pep regard, spirits seemed high. Let's say that. In the very beginning, there was some coaches kind of getting after the players, especially Bisaccia, who always makes his voice known. But throughout the course of practice, energy spirits were high. Not off the charts intense, but everything was happy, light, in that regard. Will, what's up, Will? Thank you for joining here. Thank you for the hookups every day. But there is some actual news today, not just from practice, because as I said, it was one of the shorter practices, but some transaction news for the Packers today. First of all, Henry Pearson, hybrid fullback, tight end, big body guy, is back. Yeah, I was very surprised. Actually, I didn't see anything really reported about it. And I was checking out the bikes today. Then all of a sudden, Henry Pearson came wobbling by on this three-wheeled contraption. And he was joking with a few of the other guys that he was next to about how he's got to get his hips ready for as he's finally back. So he has been signed back, released or waived, injured technically, was running back out of Elkhorn State, Jarvian Howard. So his time with the Packers is done. But another piece of news, which is incredibly interesting, James Campen, the former offensive line coach for the Green Bay, then went on, did some time in Houston, now is back. He was in Green Bay today wearing all Packers garb. Well, we found out during practice that he has been hired by Brian Gutekunst to basically be a personnel consultant to help scout offensive linemen and help just offer his opinion, his wisdom to Brian Gutekunst. Campen, obviously a very, very revered figure in Green Bay, was such a fixture here on the offensive coaching staff for a long time. Now kind of back in Green Bay. Supposedly, he is going to stay living in Florida, which is where his permanent residence is, and we'll just relay communications to Brian Gutekunst from there. But still, a very cool, worthwhile, happy development for the Green Bay Packers on the coaching front office front to have Campy back. Then, in terms of speaking of being back, Adrian Cooper returned to practice today, albeit in a limited capacity, but nonetheless, he was there. As for the rest of the out list, a little bit longer than you like, but also doesn't sound like anything too severe. So we had Marshawn Lloyd. He's still out, obviously. Tyler Davis out today with a shoulder injury. Raylan Goforth, the UDFA linebacker, out with a concussion. Andre Dillard, the tackle, out with a new shoulder injury. Now, it was specified that this isn't expected to be a very long-term injury, not expected to be a very severe injury. Nonetheless, still rough time for an injury at all for the potential tackle number 3. So Dillard is out, hopefully not for too long. Spencer Raiga out today with a concussion. Preston Smith out today with an illness, an undisclosed illness. Hopefully nothing going on there. And then A.J. Dillon out today with a stinger. So that is the entirety of the outs today. And as I said at the beginning, not the longest practice, really, in terms of actual designated practice time, about an hour and 20 minutes. And we've had some practices push over 2. We've had some get real close to that. Hour 20 today. Just a few other lineup notes for you. The offense was completely normal. Jacob Monk did rotate in with the ones at right guard every so often instead of Sean Ryan, but nonetheless, the rest of the starting lineup remained the same. Then for the defense, with Preston Smith being out, the only real notable thing going on was that Kingsley Enagbare got all the snaps at the ones, as opposed to Lucas Van Ness. Now, I will say, per my observations here, at least at camp, it has looked a lot more as though LVN, Smith, Gary are a lot more concrete in which side they rush the passer from. So with Preston being out, I don't know as if this was so much as a, Enagbare is ahead of LVN on the depth chart, so much as they just wanted to see Enagbare from that side because they don't switch very often in practice. I don't know, but nonetheless, just reporting facts, Enagbare was in before LVN. Then in terms of your specialists, just to give you an idea, Nixon and Ballantyne were the duo in kick returning, as were Melton and Dubose, as were Reed and Jacobs. Then for punt returners today, Dobbs, Reed, and Nixon. Then the kicking competition. I know everyone is on pins and needles. This is what you want to hear the most. Then I'll get to the offense. But the kicking competition, each one today had 5 kick attempts. All 3 of them had 5 kick attempts. Hale wound up going 3 for 5. He hit from 45, 45 again, then an extra point. He missed, however, from 50, kicking wide right, and then missed from 46, being wide right as well. Anders Carlson, he hit from 40, 50, an extra point, 46. He missed from 47, going wide right. Then Joseph, I put him as my try again another day player for good reason. Greg Joseph today was a mere 2 for 5. He missed from 43, 50, and 45, missing all of those wide right. He hit from 41 and 46. Here's the thing. I mean, I just talked about this yesterday. Every day seems like this new waffling back and forth between Joseph and Carlson for the kicking competition. Now, Joseph has truly failed to catapult himself beyond Carlson in this competition. He's had a chance over the last 10 days or so. Now, all of a sudden, the tides are turning, and it's like the longer camp is going on, the more inaccurate Joseph is getting. And today really just felt like an exclamation point on the momentum of Carlson now being in the lead for the kicking job. Stay tuned for Thursday. Could change, but that's what we have right now. Okay, so what's up? Queso saying, I'm not worried about preseason. Can't wait till the regular season. Yeah, lots to be said for that, right? I mean, every single year we hear about certain trends in training camp and everything like that, and then week 1, you throw them out the window. But, hey, it's what we have going on right now. As for the rest of the week, Queso, since you brought it up, Thursday there's the joint practice with the Baltimore Ravens, so I'll certainly be here for that. Then I think it's there's the I got to figure out the schedule exactly, but on Saturday is the preseason game with the Baltimore Ravens. Claudia and I will be going live for a watch party for the first half of Packers versus Ravens, and then quite possibly Sunday, maybe Monday, I don't know, somewhere in there, I'm going to get out a 53-man roster prediction, and then Tuesday is cut down day, so live show with Wisco Fanatics to go over that. So, all right, let's talk offense. I put as one of the subtitles of this video that the offense is starting to click. And indeed, that is accurate. I know that they came off a very rough practice against Denver. I know that the twos looked rather terrible against Denver in the game. Well, what I can say is that today, Jordan Love looked very, very crisp. It was not the same amount of deep ball attempts that we've seen from Love in other practices. But this was a very, very accurate, a very, very efficient practice for the offense. Yeah, they still stalled out here and there, but ultimately, I would call this a good practice for the offense. And to really highlight that for you, here is today's stream of plays. Now, the ones today most certainly got the vast majority of the snaps. Very, very little work for the twos on the whole today. Keep in mind, it was a shorter practice. So all of this pertains to the ones. Love, Watson, crosser, 15 yards. Then Love to Tucker Kraft, substantial gain. Love, curl to Musgrave, complete. Love, screen to Reed, intermediate gain about 10 yards. Then Love, under pressure, check down to Kraft, cross body. Now, that was just in some basic 11 and 11 work, but what you didn't hear from there was any incompletion. So, again, highly efficient. Then we get to the actual 2-minute drill. So here we go. Love, sweep to Musgrave, couple yards. Then Love, check down to Jacobs, first down. Love to Dobbs, few yards, then he gets out of bounds. Love to Jacobs on a hook, first down again. Then 41 seconds to go. They're on the 40-yard line, down by a field goal. Love to Kraft, first down. Then get up to the line, 28 seconds to go. Love with the spike. Second down, Love, incomplete to Watson. It was an attempted back shoulder throw, at least from what I could see. Jair in coverage. Then Love to the corner, Reed, incomplete. Then a field goal attempt. 46-yarder for Carlson is good. Then they tried some 2-point, or I'm going to say goal line work, because they gave him 4 tries to the goal line. So ball on the 2-yard line. This is really untimed. But first down, Love rolling to Watson, incomplete. Nixon with the pass breakup. But boy, I got to tell you, It looked like Nixon got an awful lot of Christian Watson's jersey, but nonetheless, nothing was called, so incomplete. Then second down, Love to the corner for Dobbs. Just didn't work. Dobbs was not open enough. Alexander with the pass breakup. Then third down, Love drops back. It is batted away at the line, but in the play of the day, perhaps the play of camp, Quay Walker gets his mitts on it, bats it up, and down with the football comes Elton Jenkins. Jenkins catches it at the 1 and then rumbles his big body into the end zone for a touchdown. Truly one of the most fun plays of camp. You saw the pure joy as soon as Elton had that. All of the offense on the side was just elated and cheering. When everyone realized that he got a touchdown, the crowd cheered a lot. The entire offense was celebrating. You love to see the big guys rumble their way in for a touchdown, right? And it proved to be the winning play for the offense. So really, really good stuff there. And I got to tell you, that's basically the entirety of 11 on 11 today. There was no one-on-ones. There was a large unit of time that was special teams. I mean, every single kicker got 5 field goal attempts. Whelan got in a good amount of attempts. And if you're worried about Daniel Whelan at all, don't be. The guy continues to boom punts with a hang time +5 with regularity. He is looking absolutely fantastic. Long snapping. Some snaps were low for Morzik, but the vast majority were pretty good on these field goal attempts. And that's the day. That's what I mean. Like, that's basically all the 11 on 11 work. That's basically all teams. It just wasn't that packed of a day from a practice standpoint. So that takes us right to Thursday now, which is what I expect to be an extremely intense practice against the Baltimore Ravens. You know that Harbaugh runs a tight ship. You know that Baltimore is a contending team. And especially, Matt LaFleur said this morning that it is to be determined as to whether the Packers would actually play their starters in the game against Baltimore. Which means if there's any conversation about that at all, that means the starters will be going full out against Baltimore a lot in the joint practice. And I expect that to be a very, very active practice, perhaps even a longer practice. Very much unlike today, which felt like in some ways more walkthrough than intense practice. So I will hang out for just a second more, see if there's any other questions, but that truly is recapping the day. If you want to know my thoughts about preseason game 2 against Denver, make sure to go check out that video because there was still things to be gleaned about the personnel side of things. And then really the only other thoughts at this practice is injured guys got to start coming back. You know, it's the wrong time to have an injury for a lot of these guys, including Dillard, who I think is pretty well safe on the roster at this juncture. They got to get back. And that's kind of the story of the day. So there you have it. Very, very efficient day by the offense. Overall, a good day by the offense. I did see that offense still did push-ups at the end of the day, but like, I don't know. Elton got a touchdown. Seems like it should have been a win for the offense. But yeah, kicking-wise, looks like Anders Carlson is back in the lead. He is as well from a percentage standpoint as well. So things to bear in mind. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me on what is a very brief episode following a very brief practice. Hope you have a good couple days. I will see you on Thursday following Packers-Ravens for the joint practice. And then, of course, watch party on Saturday, as well as another 53-man roster prediction coming out before cutdown day, which is next Tuesday. Only one of these to go. Only one public practice left, and then it is go time. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Do hope you have a fantastic day. And as always, go Pack Go.